You sit down to study, but suddenly your phone seems way more interesting. Just one more scroll. Maybe I should clean my desk first. Do I even need this? Or should I just start a new career altogether? Here's the problem. 90% of people study wrong. Most spend hours reading, rereading, and highlighting, but they remember nothing. But what if you could study half as much and learn twice as fast? Let's break down the genius study hacks that actually work. Scientifically proven methods that will change how you learn forever. And if you think you already know these tricks, stick around, because the last hack might just change the game for you. 1. The Feynman Technique. Teach it to learn it. Most people think they understand something until they try explaining it. That's when they realize they have no clue. This is exactly why Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman developed the Feynman Technique, one of the fastest ways to master any subject. Even Bill Gates called Feynman the best teacher I never had, because he could break down complex ideas into simple explanations. Pick a topic you need to understand. Example, how does inflation affect the economy? Pretend you're teaching it to a 5-year-old. Strip away complicated words and make it so simple that even a child could get it. Find the gaps. If you struggle to explain something clearly, that's your weak spot. Go back and study it. Check your notes. Then teach it again. Keep refining it until it's effortless to explain. Here's the trick. Actually say it out loud or write it down. Thinking you understand something isn't the same as proving it. But wait, what if you're not even remembering the information in the first place? That's where the next technique comes in. 2. The best students use active recall. Warning, rereading your notes, highlighting, and passively reviewing, that don't work. It feels productive, but it's just fake studying. The best students don't just recognize information. They force their brain to recall it. That's called active recall. How to use it? Close your book. Try to recall key points from memory. Write notes from scratch. Instead of copying, force yourself to explain the idea in your own words. Use flashcards, but here's the key. Guess the answer before flipping the card. The science? A study by the American Psychological Association found that students using active recall scored higher on exams compared to those using passive techniques. Bonus trick, blurting technique. After studying, write down everything you remember without looking at your notes. Then, check what you missed. It's an instant way to spot weak areas and fix them. But even if you master active recall, are you actually studying the right things? Here's where most students go wrong. Number 3, the 80-20 rule. Study smarter, not harder. Ever notice how you only wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time? That's the Pareto principle, and it applies to studying too. 80% of your results come from just 20% of what you study. That means most of what you're spending hours on doesn't actually matter. How to use it? Ask yourself, what's definitely going to be on the test? Which topics appear the most in past exams? What has your teacher repeated over and over again? Past papers are your cheat sheet. Spot the repeat questions early and you'll know exactly where to focus. Want a pro tip? Use past papers at the start of your studying. That way, you'll know exactly what to focus on before wasting time. But knowing what to study is only half the battle. What if you're still struggling to start? This next hack will trick your brain into action. Number 4, the expectation hack. Outsmart your brain's laziness. Your brain naturally resists studying because it sees it as painful. That's why you procrastinate. The trick? Shrink the pain. Use Parkinson's law to your advantage. Work expands to fill the time you give it. If you plan to study for 3 hours, your brain delays starting because it feels overwhelming. Instead, set a short study goal. I'll just do 20 minutes. Why? Because 20 minutes doesn't sound scary. It's easy to start, and once you do, you'll probably keep going. This tiny shift removes friction and makes studying automatic. Now, let's take this one step further and unlock your brain's hyper-focus mode with the next method. Number 5, the Pomodoro Technique. Study like it's an emergency. Ever noticed how you work faster under a deadline? That's because urgency creates hyper-focus. Here's how you hack your brain into deadline mode without the stress. How it works. Set a 30-minute timer. Study like it's an emergency. Take a 5-minute break. Stretch. Grab a snack. Check your phone guilt-free. Repeat the cycle. Companies like Buffer tested this method and found that structured work eliminates burnout and increases focus. Pro tip, use the Forest app. If you leave the app, your virtual tree dies. It's a weirdly effective way to stay off your phone. But even with perfect study methods, your brain won't function properly if you ignore this final hack. Number 6, the sleep and exercise hack. The ultimate brain boost. Even if you use every hack in this video, your brain won't function properly if you neglect sleep and movement. Harvard study. Students who got 7 to 8 hours of sleep performed 40% better on memory tests than those who pulled all-nighters. Sleep locks in what you study. No sleep equals wasted effort. Exercise helps you absorb information in the first place. Even a 10-minute walk boosts memory and focus. Steve Jobs held walking meetings to improve creativity. Movement increases blood flow to your brain, making it easier to learn and recall information. Now you have the tools, but will you actually use them? Now, it's time to act. Drop a comment below. Which study hack blew your mind today? Have you ever used any of these before? Did they work? Let's build a study strategy together. No more fake studying. And hey, if this video helped, hit that like button and subscribe for more study hacks. Your future self will thank you.